your snacking routine can get a little dull. Time for a light and fit remix. Like a crunchy storm of graham cookies, caramel pearls, and dark chocolate, showering down into a smooth, creamy yogurt. Enjoy 3 light and fit remix varieties with craveable flavors and up to 120 calories and 10 grams of protein per 4.5-ounce serving. See remixyogurt.com.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. When it comes to polls, especially those released by political campaigns, the media has a responsibility to approach them with a healthy dose of skepticism. Unfortunately, that hasn't been the case with the recent poll released by the Scott Stringer campaign, which has made headlines, including in the New York Post, for suggesting that Governor Andrew Cuomo is the clear frontrunner in the upcoming Democratic mayoral primary. According to the poll, Cuomo leads the field with 33% of Democratic voters, followed by Scott Stringer at 13%, Mayor Eric Adams at 11%, and others trailing even further behind. These numbers on their surface might seem like a major political story, but let's not lose sight of a crucial fact. This poll was conducted by the Stringer campaign itself, and they've released no information about its methodology, no information about the crosstabs or the questions asked. Without these details, we have no way of knowing how the poll was conducted, who was surveyed, or how the questions were framed. Was it a fair and random sample of New York City's Democratic voters, or was it a cherry-picked group designed to produce the most favorable results for Stringer? For all we know, this could be campaign propaganda dressed up as data. This isn't just a problem with Stringer's poll. Earlier this week, another poll conducted by the Progressive Democrats of America also showed Cuomo leading by a wide margin. But once again, the media treated it as breaking news without delving into the specifics of how the numbers were reached. And here's where the press should be held accountable. Polls like these shouldn't be printed and disseminated without scrutiny. By failing to ask questions about methodology, the media inadvertently lends credibility to numbers that could be wildly misleading. Worse, these polls shape public perception, giving an artificial sense of momentum to campaigns that may not actually have it. This isn't about taking a side in the mayoral race, whether you support Cuomo, Stringer, Adams, or someone else entirely. You deserve to know the facts about the data being presented. And right now, the facts we have are thin. We're seeing the campaigns shape the media coverage of the race, which in turn will affect the race itself. So here's the bottom line. Until the Stringer campaign, or any campaign, releases full details about how their poll was conducted, it's impossible to take it seriously. And shame on the press for treating these polls as gospel without doing their homework. As voters, I think we deserve better. And I can't believe the press doesn't think they deserve better.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Good Good morrow, everyone. This is The Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC. I'm Frank Morano. Since congestion pricing was implemented in New York City, we've seen story after story, some even by our very own Noam Laden, touting its apparent success. They describe how commute times in Manhattan have improved, how traffic is flowing more smoothly, and how it's supposedly making the city more livable. And you know what? I don't dispute that. Of course, congestion pricing has reduced traffic in Manhattan. How could it not? But here's the problem. Focusing on reduced traffic in Manhattan, as all these journalists have done, misses the much bigger, much more important point. From the beginning, critics like me have argued that congestion pricing isn't about traffic, it's about fairness. It's about the fact that working-class motorists who already pay through the nose to live and work in the city are now being hit with yet another regressive tax because they live in areas without proper mass transit. It's the mom driving her kids to school, the plumber heading to a job site, the delivery driver just trying to make a living who are footing the bill here. And let's not forget the tolls that already exist, the gas prices, the cost of living. For many New Yorkers, this isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a real financial burden. But there's an even bigger issue that no one seems to want to talk about. What's happening outside of Manhattan? While the MTA and its supporters are celebrating smoother streets below 60th Street, what about the rest of us? Even the MTA's own study before this was implemented predicted that congestion pricing would make traffic worse in the outer boroughs and surrounding areas. And anecdotally, I believe that's exactly what happened. Take the Verrazano Bridge, for example. I was on it yesterday, and I've never seen so many trucks on there. It's clear to me that a lot of these commercial vehicles, rather than paying the congestion pricing fee, are rerouting to avoid Manhattan entirely. And in doing so, they're clogging up roadways in Staten Island, Brooklyn, New Jersey, everywhere else. So when Manhattanites sip their lattes in their quieter streets, the rest of us are stuck sitting in traffic created by their so-called solution. Why hasn't anyone investigated this? Why has there been no reporting on how congestion pricing is affecting traffic patterns in the outer boroughs? The MTA had no problem pointing out that this was a likely outcome in their initial studies, but now that it's happening, crickets. Why? Shouldn't we know if congestion is getting worse elsewhere? Shouldn't the media ask the tough questions about whether this plan is really working for all New Yorkers, not just Manhattanites? Congestion pricing may be making life easier for some, but it's doing so at the expense of everyone else. It's time for the media to dig deeper. Let's not just celebrate reduced traffic in Manhattan. Let's talk about who's paying the price and where that traffic is going. Because from what I've seen, it's coming to the rest of us.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Don't miss the biggest Maytag sale of the year at Lowe's. You'll find the Maytag appliances you need when you need them at a great price. Plus, when you buy 2 select laundry appliances, you'll get up to a $100 bonus via instant rebate. Shop Maytag at Lowe's. We help, you save. Offer valid through 5/31. See store for pricing and offer details. Advertise savings on all major Maytag appliances through Maytag.com and participating retailers. Prices may vary. Additional terms and conditions apply.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
Let's talk about police chases. They might look dramatic in movies, but in real life, they come with serious risks. Last year alone, the NYPD recorded 2,278 vehicle pursuits, leading to 398 collisions and at least 315 injuries. That's more than 1 crash a day. And the reasons behind some of these chases? Traffic violations and minor offenses. Enter Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, who just announced a new policy that restricts police pursuits to cases involving felonies and violent misdemeanors. Officers can no longer chase someone fleeing a routine traffic stop or another low-level infraction. The goal? To keep both officers and the public safer. Tisch explained New York is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, and our officers deserve clear guidance. She's right. High-speed pursuits on crowded city streets can turn deadly fast. Take the case of 64-year-old Hua Jipan, a cyclist killed last year when a driver fleeing police struck him. Or Samuel Williams, who collided with unmarked police vehicles during a pursuit and lost his life. These tragedies aren't rare exceptions. They're the all-too-common result of policies that prioritize apprehension over safety. The shift also includes protections for officers, ensuring they won't face disciplinary action for stopping a pursuit if it's deemed too dangerous. It's a policy designed to encourage smarter decision-making, not recklessness. Critics might argue this gives offenders a free pass, but let's put things in perspective. 2/3 of last year's pursuits were sparked by drivers fleeing traffic stops. Hardly the public enemies we picture in high-stakes chases. As Tisch and Chief of Department John Chell noted, the risks often outweigh the benefits. What I love about this move is that it's bold. Tisch isn't afraid, or so it seems, to reverse an Adams administration policy or make changes even when they involve controversial figures like Chell, who once championed aggressive pursuits. Initially, I was skeptical about Tisch's leadership, but this decision, and along with a few others, shows she's willing to shake things up a bit, make tough calls, and prioritize safety over optics. The new policy goes into effect next month, following training for the entire force. It's a step forward and a step towards smarter policing that prioritizes lives over arrests. And in a city where chaos often feels like the status quo, a little restraint can go a long way. Good for Jessica Tisch. She just might be the change the NYPD needs.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
The Other Side of Midnight.
77 WABC.
Local Spotlight.
I'm about to say something that I have a feeling everybody listening live right now will appreciate and most of you will agree with. You never know who you might meet in the wee small hours of an all-night diner. A Navy man celebrating his last night in New York before deployment, a tipsy rock singer showing off Michael Jackson moves, or an ICU nurse grabbing dinner with her wife after a night of dancing. These vignettes, painted so beautifully in the New York Times profile of Brooklyn's Kellogg's Diner, capture the magic of 24-hour diners, a uniquely New York institution. Unfortunately, this institution is at risk. The Times points out that New York City, the supposed city that never sleeps, lost 13% of its round-the-clock eateries since 2020. Rising costs, the pandemic, and the convenience of food delivery have forced many diners to close their doors or cut their hours. That's why Kellogg's Diner stands out. Since 1928, it's been a fixture in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and now, after a brief closure and a much-needed refresh, it's back. Still serving 24 hours a day. The new chef, Jackie Carnisi, called 24-hour service a niche that needed to be filled, and I couldn't agree more. I've been a longtime fan of diners, especially those that never close. They're one of the few places where you can find people from all walks of life sitting elbow to elbow over pancakes, patty melts, or pie. Whether it's a pre-dawn breakfast after a late shift, a late-night bite after a concert, or just a quiet moment with a cup of coffee and your thoughts. A 24-hour diner offers something you can't find anywhere else. As much as I love, pizza or any kind of meals that might be available quickly, there's no comparison between scarfing down a burger in your car and sitting in a booth under neon lights, savoring the atmosphere. In fact, I can't wait to visit Kellogg's myself. But let me say this, we need more places like Kellogg's. The loss of 24-hour diners is about more than just food. It's a loss of community. It's a loss of a place where everyone, no matter who they are or what time it is welcome. So to the New York Times, I say thank you for shining a light on this. A wonderful article, a great profile. I'm going to link to it right now on my Facebook page at facebook.com/MoranoFan. And to Kellogg's Diner, I say thank you for keeping your lights on all night long. And to everyone else, let's support these places before it's too late. Order that midnight stack of pancakes. Meet a friend for a 3 a.m. coffee. You never know who you might bump into. Chances are, if it's around this time, they're probably listeners to the other side of midnight. Go ahead and ask.
Beam me up!
To be continued.
Plan on flying? It's time to upgrade to a real ID. Because in order to board domestic flights, your driver's license or state-issued ID must be a real ID, or you'll need another acceptable form of identification. So don't wait. Find out how to get your real ID at tsa.gov/real ID. That's tsa.gov/real ID. Or visit your local DMV. And then you'll be cleared for takeoff.